You ever have one of those days where, somehow, you wake up as the most hated guy in the whole neighborhood, and by sunset, you realize you're going to have to fight like hell just to hold on to what's rightfully yours? Yeah, that was me. The day Deborah Caldwell and her HOA decided to fine me $500 a day for blocking community access to a lake that, let's be real, belonged to me. Not them. Me. 12.7 acres, deed and all. Paid $250 grand. Legal as it gets. But Deborah didn't care about paperwork. No, she cared about power. About control. About making an example out of the guy who dared to say no. She just had no clue how stubborn I could be when you backed me into a corner. And believe me, I had enough evidence to take down her whole little fiefdom if I had to. It all started on a hot Saturday in June, just after 8 a.m. I was standing in my kitchen window, cup of black coffee in hand, watching a few birds fighting over the feeder when I heard this low rumble like thunder rolling in. I look up, and 3 black SUVs come barreling down my dirt drive, dust and gravel flying everywhere like they're about to stage some kind of raid. Doors swing open, and I swear at least 15 people pile out. Coolers, camp chairs, tents, fishing rods, grills, you name it. They moved with the kind of confidence only folks who believe the rules don't apply to them ever have. Some guy pops open a beer, another starts shoving charcoal into a grill, and this woman in a sun hat just plants herself right at the water's edge like she owns the view. I set my coffee down and walked out, slow and steady, letting the sun bake into my shoulders, hands in my pockets, breathing deep. I get close enough and I raise my voice, friendly but firm. Hey folks, I think there's been a misunderstanding. This is private property. You'll need to pack up and head out. The beer guy grins at me like I just made a cute little joke. Relax, man. Mrs. Caldwell said we're good. It's community access. Right then, I feel my jaw tighten, count of 3. Inhale, exhale, stay calm. Mrs. Caldwell doesn't own this land. I do. That's when another guy, older, fishing vest, tackle box, waves a piece of paper at me. We got an email. Says the lake's open to residents all summer. Before I can respond, there it is, the sound of heels sharp against the gravel. Deborah Caldwell herself, strutting toward me like she's about to close on $1 million deal. White blazer, khaki pants, not a hair out of place. 2 minions behind her, one with a clipboard, the other filming everything on a phone. She stops 10 feet away, crosses her arms, and plasters on this smile. One of those bless-your-heart types that tells you you're about to get steamrolled. Mr. Robbins, she says, voice echoing for everyone to hear. Let's not argue legal terms. You wouldn't want to upset the community over something that benefits everyone, would you? I look her dead in the eye, then at the crowd behind me, then back at her. Mrs. Caldwell, this lake is on my property. I have the deed, the survey maps, all of it. You know that. She tilts her head, smile growing like she's already won. What I know is the community deserves access to natural resources. Surely, we can work something out. No need for conflict. I can feel my pulse picking up, but I force my voice to stay calm. There's nothing to work out. You're trespassing. And so is everyone here. Something flickers in her eyes, just for a second. Then she leans in, low enough so only I can hear, voice colder than ice. You really want to make this a fight? The HOA has more resources than you. We'll bury you in legal fees before you even get to court. I don't flinch. Instead, I pull out my phone, scroll through my contacts, and call Jonathan Pierce, the lawyer I'd save for emergencies just like this. I keep my eyes on Deborah while the phone rings. Pierce & Associates, how can I help you? The silence stretches. Deborah starts to squirm. Finally, I say, this is Tyler Robbins. I need to speak with Jonathan Pierce. It's urgent. Then I lower the phone, my voice carrying just enough. Mrs. Caldwell, you got about 10 minutes to get these people off my property before I file a trespassing complaint with the county sheriff. After that, we do this the legal way. For the first time, she hesitates. Smile wobbles. She glances at the clipboard. Then, loud enough for everyone. All right, everyone. Let's move to the clubhouse pond for today. We'll get this sorted out. Groans, complaints, but eventually they start packing up. Deborah doesn't even look at me. She just turns, heels crunching in the gravel, entourage trailing after. The person with the phone keeps filming until the last SUV disappears. I'm left there, just me and the lake, and the quiet settles back in like nothing happened. Except there's this little wooden stake, half buried in the mud by the shore. I pick it up, old, faded, numbers and letters I can't quite make out. Looks like an original survey marker from back when the place was first built. I snap a photo, not sure why, but it just feels important. My phone buzzes. Jonathan Pierce, texting back. Let's talk Monday. Bring all your paperwork. I look out over the water, glass smooth, but I know beneath that surface things are churning. Monday morning, I'm sitting in Pierce's office downtown. He's the kind of guy you want on your side, sharp-eyed, gray at the temples, quick with a contract. I lay everything out, deed, survey, emails, even the stake. Walk me through it, he says. Bought it in 2022, 12.7 acres, the lake included. Patterson family owned it since the early 80s. HOA line stops at my west boundary. No easement, no community clause. Jonathan nods, flipping through pages. And Caldwell? She knows. I nod. 6 months before I bought it, she emailed the Pattersons, asked for access. They said no. I got the email. He schemes the screenshots, then sets them down. So she knew all along. Yet she's still pushing it. I pull out leaked HOA meeting minutes. Some neighbor posted them to a forum. Highlighted, Lakefront Club proposal, $500 per household, estimated 150 homes, $75,000 a year, all for the board. Jonathan whistles. So not about goodwill. It's about money. I nod. And power. She's run the HOA 7 years. Runs it like a kingdom. People are scared of her. Jonathan traces my property line on a county map. Your line's solid, lake's yours. Only risk, if she tries to claim an implied easement, says the community's used the lake for years. It's weak, but if she's got a lawyer, it could get messy. I nod. So what do I do? He leans back. First, we get the official survey records from the county, just to nail it down. Second, I draft a cease and desist to the HOA. They step on your land again, call the sheriff. Document everything, photos, videos, witnesses. I head home, but it's not even lunchtime before the games start up again. I get a thick envelope from the HOA. Retroactive fines, $500 a day, already up to $2,000. They accuse me of restricting access, violating community spirit. I call Jonathan, he laughs. Pure harassment, Tyler. Ignore it, don't pay a cent, and keep that letter. It's evidence, but it doesn't stop there. My inbox starts filling up. Anonymous emails calling me selfish. One even accuses me of trying to own the world. Then another email, different subject. You should know. No signature. Deborah is telling everyone you're privatizing community land. Organizing a meeting Friday to vote on legal action. Just like that, she's taking it public, turning neighbors into an angry mob. So I spend the next hour photographing everything. Property markers, dock, driveway, the survey stake. Uploading it all, time-stamped, labeled airtight. For PM, a silver sedan pulls up. Out steps Margaret Finch, late 70s, neat as a pin. She's shaking but determined. My husband Harold lives in Meadowbrook. He was at the meeting Saturday, left when he realized what Deborah was doing. He's lived here since '85, remembers when the developer said, very clearly, the lake was always private. Never HOA land. He'll testify. I swear, I almost hug her. She gives me Harold's number, and later that night, I call Jonathan. We got a witness. Old-timer, sharp as a tack, says the lake was always private. Jonathan's voice is the happiest I've heard it. That could end this whole thing. Friday night, HOA clubhouse, parking lot packed. I sit in the back, folder in hand, as Deborah holds court up front. She starts with the usual, painting me as the villain, claiming the community's always enjoyed the lake, that I'm threatening families. She asks for a vote, to raise funds for a lawsuit. I stand up, folder in hand. My name's Tyler Robbins. I own the land. The lake's not public, never was. I show the deed, the 1987 survey, and, most damning, Deborah's own email asking for access and getting shot down. Her face goes white. Right then, Harold speaks up from his wheelchair, clear as a bell. I was here in '85. Developer said the lake was private. Deborah knew it. Crowd starts muttering. Someone asks why they're being asked to fund a lawsuit. Another asks about the emails. Deborah loses it, starts shouting about natural resources, but the mood's turned. When it's time to vote, nearly everyone's hand goes up against the lawsuit. Deborah sits down, shoulders slumped. I leave, heart pounding, adrenaline draining away. For the first time, I feel hope. I'd done it. I'd stood up to the bully in public and didn't back down. But just because you win a battle doesn't mean the war's over. Monday, back in Jonathan's office, he's got even more paperwork. Survey records, county letters, a 1987 developer letter confirming my property is private, out of HOA reach. This should end it, he says, but he's wary. Deborah doesn't lose, she redirects. And sure enough, by Tuesday, the games start up again. Anonymous complaints, a zoning inspector on my property about unpermitted structures. Turns out, everything's legal. She was just trying to scare me. But then, the original survey stake I'd found goes missing. Only people who'd seen it, me, and the county inspector. That's when I started to realize Deborah isn't just fighting me in the open anymore. She's working the system from the inside. Thursday, I get a call from the county recorder. Someone tried to request my property's historical records, using my name but a fake email. Identity fraud. Jonathan tells me to file a police report, and I do. That same day, Rachel Brennan, a neighbor, emails me leaked HOA messages. Deborah's been pushing a legal claim for historical access rights, even though the HOA's own 1987 minutes say the developer refused community access. Smoking gun. By Friday, Jonathan's got everything: deeds, developer letters, meeting minutes, witness statements, proof of Deborah's profit scheme. If she pushes it, he's ready to counterclaim for harassment and fraud. The final straw? County inspector clears me of any violations. Letter signed off by D. Caldwell, HOA liaison. I didn't even know the county had such a thing. But there's her signature, sneaking in where she doesn't belong. The following Monday, the next HOA meeting's standing room only. Deborah's up front with her lawyers, but the crowd's done with her. Jonathan lays out the evidence: meeting minutes, developer's letter, her own emails, the profit plan. It's not about community. It's about power. And Deborah's lost all of hers. The vote is swift. No confidence. She's out as president. She gathers her things and walks out, head down, while Harold calls out, "Next time, Deborah, try telling the truth." I drive home that night, sit in my truck watching the moon rise over the lake, and for the first time in weeks, I feel peace, real peace. 3 weeks later, I'm on the dock, sun coming up, mist curling off the water. Margaret and Harold come by, thank me for standing up, say Deborah finally moved out. Rachel gets elected new HOA president, sends me a letter, formal apology, confirms I'm outside their jurisdiction, and promises they won't bother me again. I file it away, just in case. But for now, the war is over. So here's what I've learned after all the threats, the lies, the midnight emails, and the clubhouse showdowns. The truth doesn't speak for itself. You have to fight for it. You have to document, stand up, refuse to be bullied, and trust that if you do the work, justice will catch up. Bullies win when good people stay silent, but if you push back, really push, they fall. Power doesn't mean you get to rewrite the truth. It just means you have farther to fall when the truth comes out. If you've ever had to fight for what's yours, if you've ever stared down someone who thought they could lie their way to power, I want to hear your story. Drop a comment below, tell me where you're watching from, or share your own battle. And if you believe in standing up for what's right, like, share, spread the word. Because at the end of the day, it's not about lakes or land. It's about justice, and that's always worth fighting for.